Hi yogis, thanks for tuning in to my channel. I am Alana and today we'll be doing a 25-minute before bed yin practice. So this will be super easy, great for all levels, and just hopefully getting that body and your mind ready for bed. So find a place in your house where you can be still and unbothered, maybe grabbing a pillow or a blanket for a prop, and let's get started. Begin to come into child's pose, bringing the toes to touch, knees are coming out wide. And we want to find our forehead onto the mat. So you can either stack two fists or maybe bring that blanket or pillow underneath your head if you're having a hard time getting there. And begin to let go of your day, seeing if you can focus your attention just on that breath. Beginning to find a rhythm, inhaling completely, filling up the belly and the lungs, maybe noticing how the belly expands between your legs. And then slowly exhaling it all out. We want to find a nice rhythmic, calming breath before we get ready for bed so we can send our nervous system into that rest and digest phase. We'll bring our attention to the fingertips as we do just a quick body scan to check in with how we're feeling. So feeling the hands on the mat, working your way up the arms, bending the shoulders, feeling the neck, feeling your head and your face, moving down your back body, the upper back, mid back, and lower back, finding the hips, and then moving down each leg and noticing the knees, and then into the lower half of your legs, and into the ankles and the feet. You should feel nice and rooted, really grounded here in this calming pose. We'll sink into this child's pose for just a few more moments, but I like to use mantras during my practices. And I know before bed, a lot of us have a hard time tuning out what we need to finish tonight or what we need to wake up and accomplish tomorrow. So, to help quiet our mind and bring us back into the present moment, tonight you can just repeat to yourself, I am ready for rest. Because what we think we become, and this will help us convince our minds that we are ready for nice, restful, deep sleep. So just take a few more nice, deep breaths here, just repeating to yourself, I am ready for rest. Begin to let the left arm come off the mat and inhale, finding a twist, reaching the left arm up towards the sky. And we're going to thread the needle through the space on the right side, letting the head or cheek come down to the mat. Right arm is just going to be relaxed and gently out in front of you. If you have the bind in your practice and want to open that right shoulder a little bit more, you can let the top of that right hand come to your lower back. Just take one more nice big inhale here. And if you took the bind, exhale, let that arm come down to the mat. Push up slightly and inhale that arm back up to the sky and bring it back down in front. And we'll switch sides. So inhale that right arm up to the sky and exhale, thread the needle through the space on the left. And same thing, you can either have the arm stretched out gently in front of you or take that bind, letting that top of the hand come to your lower back. You should feel that nice gentle twist in your upper spine, also allowing the heart to open here, releasing any stress you might be holding in the chest area. If you took the bind, just bringing that hand back down to the mat. Inhale that right arm up to the sky and exhale, bring it back down in front of you. Walk the hands back towards the knees and we'll just find a comfortable seat. So if you like to sit on a blanket, you can do that, but just one ankle in front of the other. And we'll begin to work into a few seated cat and cows. So inhale, chest goes forward, neck drops back, and exhale, rounding forward, letting that chin come to the chest. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, rounding. Using your hands on your knees, maybe giving yourself a little extra tension as you round forward. And then inhale, come back up to center. And we'll begin to roll the shoulders out. So inhale the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze, and exhale, let them roll gently down the back. Inhaling up. And then switching directions, coming from the back, squeezing up and exhaling, letting them fall forward. And find one more round and just come back to neutral. And if you like to use a blanket during your yin practice, you can grab one here. Just finding the sits bones rooted out on the mat, whether you're on a blanket or not. Bringing both feet out in front of you. Find a nice tall spine and begin to fold forward, just walking the hands down. And once you find that edge or where your legs start to pool, that's when you'll just let the head and the neck go, maybe grabbing a block or a blanket to prop your head up gently. And if you do have any back or neck issues you're dealing with, you can always keep the spine straight during this. Also, if you're feeling that your hamstrings are really tight, you can bend the knees, maybe propping a blanket or a bolster underneath. And begin to just find that rhythm of your breath, inhaling nice and deep, and exhale, releasing it all very slowly. Maybe as you breathe in, if you notice any tension in your spine as you're folded over, maybe something that's resisting the stretch, just sending the breath into that area, really filling up, breathing in, and seeing if you can create a little bit of space and freedom. As time goes on here, you may notice your body allowing you to go a little deeper. Maybe some extra freedom and flexibility is created. So you can always remove any props you might have holding you up if you want to go a little deeper. And the same rule applies if maybe you went into it a little too deep at first. You can always come out of it and readjust. We want to make sure we're nice and passive here and that we're not forcing the pose. Returning back to that breath if your mind decides to take over, or just repeating, I am ready for rest. We'll be here for just a few more moments. So we'll very slowly begin to rise out of it, maybe just walking the hands up your legs or the mat, finding that tall spine, and then beginning to do some counter movements. So I like to let my hands come behind me and push my chest up and do some really exaggerated windshield wipers with my legs, just letting those hips have a little bit of a break. And then I usually come into a reverse tabletop to just lengthen the hips and stretch out that back a little bit more. And you can find whatever movement works for you. And we'll make our way back to a seated pose and then work our way onto our backs. Just gently bringing the knees in and giving them a little squeeze here. And you can rock side to side, just giving your lower back a little bit of a massage. And then grab a hold of your knees and just start to do a few circles as if you were drawing a circle on the ceiling, guiding your knees around, and then switch and go the other direction for about 3 circles. And then find yourself back in the center and let that right leg go long and hug the left knee in, bringing it out towards the armpit, holding it here for a moment. Beginning to feel that hip open. We're going to begin to reach for either the big toe or the outside of the foot, coming into a one-legged happy baby here. So knee is coming down towards the armpit. You're pushing up with the foot and down with the hand. Your right leg can either be bent or long down the mat. You might have a slight bend in that knee. Another modification, if maybe reaching for your foot is a little hard, you can grab a strap or a blanket to wrap around the foot, adding some length to your arm. Or you can just keep the foot down with the knee pointed towards the armpit and just hug in there without bringing the foot up towards the sky. You can have the right hand either on your belly or just beside you, or maybe in a T or a goal post. So begin to just find that rhythm of your breath. We're going to be here for a few minutes, so just try to get as comfortable as possible. You'll probably notice your hand pulling a little more down versus your foot pushing up towards the sky, and that's just going to help us get into our hips a little deeper. Still keeping that nice rhythm with your breath. I am ready for rest. So begin to let go of your foot. We're going to bring the knee into the chest and then twist over towards the right. So the right leg's still going to be long on the mat, and you can grab a blanket or a block if that left knee needs a little bit of support finding the floor. This should be nice and restorative. The arms can be in a T or a goalpost. If you have any pinchiness in the shoulders, you can always bring the arms down alongside you, and your head can either look towards or away from the knee. So we'll just sink in here and enjoy this nice restorative twist. And begin to untwist, bringing that knee back into the chest, maybe giving it one little squeeze and then letting the left leg go long and bringing that right knee into the chest, squeezing it here and then rotating it out towards the armpit. And if you need that modification, you can leave the foot down, just knee is out towards the armpit. But if you're ready for half happy baby, you can reach up for the outside of the foot or the big toe, pulling that knee down towards the earth. The left hand can be on the belly or just beside you. Just sinking in, allowing some of that tension or stored up stress that we hold in our hips. Just get a little relieved here. as we promote the fluidity and flexibility into our connective tissues and joints of the hip. Begin to let go of that foot again, bringing the knee back into the chest, and then allowing it to come over to the left, finding that supine twist, grabbing any props you need to bring the floor a little closer, and just enjoy the easiness of the pose, just getting ready for that rest. And begin to untwist, bringing that right knee back into the chest. And bring the left leg in as well, grabbing onto the ankles, creating like a diamond shape with the legs. Give them a little squeeze here, and then find a full happy baby. So both soles of the feet are up towards the sky, knees both coming down to the armpits. Just making sure that lower lumbar spine is pushing into the mat. And then release and give yourself a squeeze, bringing the nose up to meet the knees, maybe rocking forward and backwards. Then we're going to set up for waterfall or legs up a wall. So if you're not near a wall, you can just let the feet go up, maybe bringing the hands to the lower back. But if you are by a wall, I'd recommend that as your feet can have a little bit of support. So just bring yourself to the side and then shimmy. So you are touching the wall, maybe grabbing a blanket to put underneath you or a pillow, and then just situate yourself so that your feet are going right up the wall. They should feel nice and heavy here. And just bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the stomach, and just enjoy this super restorative pose. And after sitting or standing all day, this helps to reverse how the circulatory system's moving, helping to release some fluid that might be built up in the legs or the feet, and just overall giving you a nice sense of peace and relaxation. So feel free to stay here if you'd like. You can always pause the video, but we're slowly going to shimmy ourselves off the wall. There's no really easy way to do that. And just find yourself in a fetal position, bringing both knees in, cradling your head in your arms for just a couple breaths. And then slowly beginning to just make your way into Shavasana, or final relaxation, allowing the arms to be long beside you, legs long down the mat. And just begin to squeeze the whole body, even your face, squeezing the feet, the legs, the arms. And then exhale and just let it all go. Just sinking here, feeling heavy, and allowing yourself to relax. And slowly begin to deepen your breath, bringing the awareness back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, and then slowly bringing the knees into the chest and finding that fetal position on the right side of your body, cradling your head in your arms, and just taking note of how you feel, checking in. And then slowly beginning to push yourself up to a nice comfortable seat, bringing the hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra, and just giving yourself some thanks and gratitude. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you sleep amazing.